A budgie stands motionless inside its cage, quietly staring through the window glass. The cage is clean, with a full food bowl, a mirror, a bell, and a cuddle bone all in place. In the Australian outback, wild budgies join flocks of tens of thousands, crossing dry scrub daily. Budgies must drink fresh water every day or they die. This biology has not changed for millions of years. A pet budgie lives quietly in 1 cubic foot of air for 10 to 20 years, confined but enduring. The budgie tilts its head, staring out the window with its walnut-sized brain. Does it know it belongs elsewhere? 20 years of bird cognition research reveal they remember and suffer deeply, far beyond what was once believed. We explore animal minds to understand what happens inside during their most important life moments and memories. Today's budgie sits 1 meter away, silent and still, quietly looking out the window beyond the glass. Over 11,000 bird species exist worldwide, and nearly half have been kept in human cages at some point. To truly understand a caged budgie's needs, we must see it where it belongs, in the wild, not in a cage. Follow one budgie through a day in the Australian wild, living the ancestral life it was born to lead. At 4 in the morning, the budgie's biological clocks stir them awake in the roost tree, long before sunrise. The flock erupts in a wall of chattering sound, their voices rising together as they synchronize their takeoff. This noise is not song, but a collective vocalization that travels for kilometers across the open land. For budgies, dawn signals one urgent need: water. Thousands of budgies fly in undulating patterns. Early explorers followed them to water. A water hole may be a few to 20 kilometers away, farther in times of drought. Budgies' pectoral muscles are nearly a fifth of their body weight, built for daily flight. At the water hole, budgies drink rapidly, dipping, hovering, or briefly landing. After drinking water, budgies spend 6 to 8 hours foraging for grass seeds on the ground. A budgie's brain is about the size of an almond, yet its neuron density matches that of primates, higher than dogs and cats. Budgies remember which grasses are seeding now, where patches have been grazed, and fields from last month. Every meal is a new puzzle of geometry, biochemistry, and reflexes that budgies solve each day while foraging. Foraging on open ground exposes budgies to predators, placing them in constant danger and forcing caution. At 11 in the morning, a dark shadow sweeps over the scrub. Instantly, the entire flock of budgies vanishes, fleeing from a falcon or hawk above. The budgie's heart rate spikes, pounding over 1,000 beats per minute as panic floods its tiny body. It crashes into the low scrub and freezes, perfectly still, holding its breath for minutes to avoid detection. A lone bird calls softly from the bush, signaling safety. Slowly, the flock begins to re-emerge, cautious but relieved. Less than half of all small parrots survive their first year in the wild, facing countless dangers from the start. Every call and movement a budgie makes carries weight, shaped by constant danger in the wild. Only after escaping death can a budgie truly live, expressing its vibrant spirit in flight. At midday, the flock gathers beneath eucalyptus shade, escaping heat and sharing quiet moments together. A budgie finds its partner and they gently preen each other's feathers, a quiet sign of trust. Allopreening is a mutual act of trust, weaving social bonds between budgies through gentle care. Nearby, 2 male budgies flap and chirp fiercely, squabbling over a favorite perch in the tree. An adult budgie guides a young bird toward hollows in trees, showing future nesting sites. Wild budgies live complex social lives, with friends, enemies, mates, children, and shifting ranks. Budgie flocks form social networks as rich and intricate as human communities, full of connection. After a busy day, a budgie's feathers are dusty and oily, with seed husks clinging to them. The flock heads quietly to the water hole, ready to bathe and clean their feathers under the warm sun. Budgies splash water with quick wing flicks, letting droplets cover their bodies before perching to sun-dry. Bathing is vital, Dirty feathers block insulation in flight, putting the budgie's survival at risk. Sunlight kills parasites and helps synthesize vitamin D, which strengthens the budgie's bones over time. As evening falls, the flock settles into tall, dense trees, safe from snakes and owls, close to other birds. Choosing the wrong roost at dusk can mean no morning for a budgie. Budgies sleep with one brain half at a time, keeping one eye open and alert. A wild budgie never experiences a fully unconscious night in its entire life. A wild budgie's 16-hour day is filled with sound, scent, fear, joy, loss, and life. Back in the cage, the budgie stands on its perch, head tilted, looking out the window. Most pet owners don't realize their budgie isn't stupid or forgetful. Millions of years of evolution scream inside the budgie, "I am supposed to be out there." The budgie is supposed to be thirsty, hungry, afraid, calling, mating, and flying. Instead, the caged budgie stands still in 1 cubic foot of air with a piece of millet. The budgie's instincts never shut off. Alarm, preening, mating, and foraging reflexes remain intact. With no outlet for its instincts, the budgie's energy turns inward, causing distress. The budgie pulls out its own feathers, sometimes leaving bald patches across its chest. It repeats meaningless motions on its perch for hours, a classic sign of chronic stress. The budgie screams every morning until neighbors complain about the noise. It bites cage bars until its beak wears down from constant gnawing. These behaviors are symptoms of a mind in collapse, not personality traits. Even with the best care, captive budgies live only a fraction of their healthy wild lifespan. The real cost of a cubic foot of air and a piece of millet is the budgie's diminished life. The question arises, what does a caged budgie actually need to live well? There is no way to give back the sky, hawk, mate, or flock the budgie has lost. It is possible to give back partly what the cage has taken from the budgie. If the budgie lives with you, there are 7 minimum needs you owe it to survive. Most critical is work. 6 to 8 hours daily foraging is the budgie's life. Dumping food in a bowl removes the budgie's job, causing mental distress and insanity. Science calls the fix foraging enrichment, hiding food to make the budgie work for it. Hide food in crumpled newspaper so the budgie must tear it open to eat. Suspend food from string overhead so the budgie must climb and reach to eat. Stuff seeds in drilled wooden blocks so the budgie must work to extract its food. Divide the daily ration into 10 hiding places refreshed each morning for the budgie. Don't feed the budgie easily. Give it a reason to exist each day through work. Wild budgies eat between 30 and 50 different plant species each week to meet their nutritional needs. Their diet includes seeds, fruits, fresh shoots, leaves, insects, and even soil to obtain essential minerals. In captivity, budgies often receive the same dry seed mix every day for years, lacking the variety they need. This poor diet leads to fatty liver, brittle feathers, and premature death in many budgies kept as pets. Many owners dismiss these signs, saying, "just a bird," while it slowly dies from unseen malnutrition inside. Dry seed fed to budgies is like candy. It tastes good, but lacks real nutritional value. Budgies need fresh greens, pellets, sprouted seeds, vegetables, and fruit for a healthy, varied diet. This variety reflects millions of years of natural evolution before budgies lived in captivity. Feeling safe is critical for budgies. It goes beyond just physical safety to a deeper need. A cage placed in a busy hallway becomes a lifelong, slow nightmare for the budgie inside. A shadow passing overhead triggers the budgie's falcon reflex. This instinct remains sharp and unforgotten. Budgies need places to hide, like leafy plants or nesting boxes, where they can physically retreat and feel safe. Without a hiding place, the budgie begins to withdraw inward, hiding inside its own mind. This is where mental illness starts. A male budgie mistakes its reflection for a rival and fights the mirror, risking exhaustion or death in the struggle. Sometimes budgies bond with their mirror image, which stops them from socializing normally with other birds or humans. When the budgie sees a cat outside, it triggers an endless panic response, a biological emergency. Flight is essential for the budgie. Its wings are functional tools, not mere decoration or furniture. The cage doors should open daily for at least an hour, allowing flight in a safe, sealed room. Before flight time, close windows, turn off fans, remove cats, and move boiling pots out of reach. Flight keeps the budgie's muscles strong, bone density high, and heart healthy through constant exercise. Without flight, budgies suffer a slow collapse that often looks like old age, but is really death. Budgies are profoundly social birds, relying on their flock to survive in the wild. Together, the flock spots predators, finds water, and huddles to generate heat on cold desert nights. A single budgie in a cage lives in a constant state of biological emergency and stress. Loneliness raises cortisol levels in budgies and shortens their lifespan significantly. A budgie alone for 8 hours at work faces silent waiting, not rest. If possible, keep 2 budgies together. If not, be present and interactive with one. You become the budgie's entire flock. Your presence replaces its social network. Daily bathing and exposure to real sunlight are critical for budgie health. Provide a shallow water dish for bathing or a fine mist spray if refused. Window glass blocks UVB rays, so budgies need real sunlight to make vitamin D. Vitamin D keeps a budgie's bones strong for millions of wing beats over its lifetime. Place the cage on a balcony or porch where the budgie can choose sun or shade. Within a month of sunlight and bathing, feathers brighten, posture strengthens, and voice clears. These changes show biology responding naturally to essential needs finally being met. Giving the budgie real choice inside its cage is vital, yet often overlooked in captivity care. All other decisions, light, noise, and food, are controlled by the owner, not the bird itself. When stripped of choice, a creature dies inside long before it dies outside its cage. Offering multiple perches at different heights lets the budgie choose where it wants to sit. Providing several foods at once allows the budgie to select its preferred morning meal freely. Bright and dim corners inside the cage let the budgie choose its preferred light level. When the budgie backs away, don't force interaction. Wait and respect its choice patiently. Each choice given back to the budgie returns a fragment of its dignity, quietly restored. Dignity separates a living creature from a breathing toy, even in captivity's quiet cage. Return once more to the budgie on its perch, head tilted, gazing quietly out the window. It will likely never sing like the wild bird flying past the trees outside. There is no full way to give back what the cage has already taken from it. Understanding its wild life means you cannot keep the budgie as you did before. The budgie isn't asking for freedom. Released now, it would likely die. It asks you to remember who it is and live with that memory. Live with the budgie as one who truly remembers its wild past. It asks only to be seen, not freed. The silent budgie on its perch holds a lost wildlife within. Its head tilts, gazing out the window. This quiet moment reflects the budgie's true nature and the cost of captivity it cannot escape.